Welcome back, everybody. It is coffee time, and today we are rocking a cold brew vanilla latte. So if you guys don't already have coffee, go grab some, leave the podcast on, and let's have some fun. It is good. It is good. So I declare fall, everybody. It is officially fall. It's Saturday, September 5th, and we got so much fun stuff to talk about. I am definitely a planner nerd. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I love planning. It is awesome. And everything about fall is just, it's my favorite. You know, like the flannel and the cozy stuff, finally being able to light candles without dying because it's too warm. It's so cozy. I love it. It's also that, New Year's kind of thing that you got going. It's not New Year's, obviously, but you still have that opportunity to start something fresh, to start something new. Summer tends to be one of those times of year where we dream and we have all these new ideas and things like that sort of come to us when we're feeling refreshed on vacation. And then when fall comes around, it's time to actually take a few of those dreams and say, you know what, this is not just dream material, this is something that I want to do. This is something that I'm passionate about, and I want to actualize this and do something proactively to make it happen. So one of my absolute favorite things when it comes to planning is to do SMART goals. And this is something that I do, I'd say about 2 times a year usually. I mean, I might throw one in somewhere along the way when something new pops up, but generally speaking, around New Year and around this time of year is when I do a bunch of SMART goals. So SMART goals is something that I've been using in the classroom when I teach, but it's something that can be used as a tool, both, I'd say, also academically, obviously, but also personally and professionally as well. So it's a way to sort of structure your plans. Because remember, we're saying don't call it a dream, call it a plan, and make it more substantial. And it's really, really a good way to sort of, get a grip of everything. So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So we're going to go in on those different letters a little bit and just sort of check them out and say what is what. So when it comes to being specific, we'll start from the first letter because it makes things so much less confusing. Oh my God, give me more coffee. Okay, so when it comes to making goals, making plans, being as specific as possible is really, really helpful and really important. If you make a goal or you have a plan and you say something that is really sort of broad and general and that, it can get a little bit too fuzzy. What we want is to make something that is, to make a clear plan, to have a clear vision and be very, very specific in what it is you want to achieve. So be as specific as possible. Don't say, okay, let's say if it's a private one, I want to get healthier. I want to have a healthier life. That's really, really broad. But if we're going to be super specific here, you might say, I want to run a 5K. Or if your goal is, to record or something like that, say, instead of saying, I want to record more music, maybe you say, okay, I want to record an EP, or I want to record an album, or something like that. Just to keep it as specific and as detailed as possible so that you know what it is you're moving towards. When it comes to the choices that we make, either it's going to move you towards your goal or it's not, it's one or the other, really. So if you know where it is you want to be heading, you are way more likely to actually get there. So that's the S, that's specific. M is for measurable. So how are you going to measure your progress in this journey that you're on? If it comes to weight loss, it's pretty easy to say, okay, well, the scale is one way to do it, or if you use a tape measure or whatever. If your goal is, for example, to run a 5K, then you could say, okay, I am going to be measuring this and keeping track of my progress by seeing how much longer I can run before I have to walk every week. And those kind of things. So having a plan for how you are going to track your progress is also really important, because there is nothing that is more discouraging than feeling that you're working really, really hard, but you can't see that you're actually getting anywhere. You just feel like you're treading water. That is so depressing. And it's, to be fair, it's probably going to have you giving up on things after a while if you can't see that you're actually getting somewhere. So that is M, that is measurable. So achievable. And this is also really, really important because, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to be saying that about every letter because they're all really important, I promise. Okay, so A. A is for achievable. Is this a realistic goal? This is really important, but also it's a little bit of a balance here because if your goal is to be the president of the United States by next month, let's face it, you're probably not going to get there, most likely. Unless you're in some kind of Hollywood movie and it's, something with a really quirky storyline. I don't know. But in all honesty, is your goal realistic? We do want to make sure that we set goals that are a bit of a stretch because that's how we grow. That's what inspires us and helps us to reach higher. But at the same time, you do not want to overstretch too much because that's also super, super discouraging, feeling that, you just fall flat. So if your goal, for example, is that you want an A in chemistry, if you are at an F right now and your goal is to get an A in chemistry by Christmas, then maybe you need to reevaluate your goal and say, maybe I need to break it down a little bit. Maybe I need to break it into smaller goals to get to where I want to be going. So is it achievable? Do you have the tools and do you have the skills that you need to be able to achieve this goal? So maybe taking a look at the A for achievable, maybe to make it achievable, you need to take a course in, for example, if your goal is making more music, maybe you need to take a class in audio or in editing or something like that. And do you have the tools that you need? What do you need to do to get there? So that is sort of your how. How are you going to do this? Is it achievable? And just taking a look at that is a very good start. It's hard to record, for example, if you don't have a microphone. You might need to get a mic, just saying. So, where do we have? S.m.a.r. So relevant. And here, guys, this is where the why comes in. Why do you want this? Seriously, why do you want it? Why is this something that is important to you? Is this important to you? Or do you just, are you just doing this because you think you should? Because of other people's expectations? Because if that's the case, then chances are that the amount of effort and work that you put in isn't going to feel worth it. It's not going to be worth what you get back. So, for example, we're talking about A in chemistry, which let's be honest, I never got an A in chemistry, and it probably wouldn't be one of my goals either. But for those of you that really have that as a goal, why is it your goal? Is it because you feel like, oh, I probably should want an A in chemistry? Or is it because, hey, I need this to be able to get to higher studies or something like that? So you need to make sure that the why and the goal that you're setting for yourself is something that is relevant and something that you personally are invested in. Because if you're not personally invested in it, then you're gonna lose the energy and just sort of it's just gonna slide away, and maybe for a good reason. But that's a different story. So make sure that the plans and the goals that you are setting for yourself are important to you, because these are your goals. These are not somebody else's goals. So that is the R. And then we have timely, T. So the last letter of s.m.a.r.t. is something that also, it's the last letter, but it might be something that you want to start with. That's sort of how I go. Having a timeline for yourself, setting a deadline. So, for example, having a start, having a finish. You are way more likely to actually get your things done if you know by when you want to have this done. So, for example, if it's your fall goals, maybe you say by Christmas or by New Year's, I want to have done this or this or this or whatever. You are much more likely to not procrastinate and just have things, just sort of forget about them if you have a deadline. And that's also one of those research things where people have shown that the people who have a deadline and set a timeline for their plan are way more likely to actually get there. So that is something that I use for everything, pretty much. So writing up your SMART goals, when you've decided what your plan is and where it is you want to go, make sure to keep them visible. Put them somewhere, put them, on your workspace, on your place at work, by your desk maybe, or in your planner or inside of your locker, somewhere where you know that you are going to be seeing these daily and having them having a daily reminder of your goals. It is really, really important because you need to be keeping yourself in check. Sometimes it's good to have a buddy as well. Have somebody that, keeps you accountable and that you can check in with. So that is SMART goals, and that is sort of how to put that up. I would really, really love to hear what your plans are for the fall. Personally, I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a 5K. I am. It's been a while since I was running, and I really, really miss it. Those are my personal ones. Then we've got a bunch of different other stuff. But so you can set up a bunch of different SMART goals. But I would love to hear what you guys think. So if you go in on jessiefrancis.com, and there's the blog post that sort of is a companion one to this podcast. I would love it if you guys told me a little bit about what you are thinking and what you are wanting to do this fall. It's always fun to sort of be able to give each other pep. So I will see you guys back on Monday, and we are going to be talking about self-care, which is also super, super important when we are putting up our plans for fall and how we're going to be doing things and what our plans are to plan for success and not plan for burnout, because it is easy to put too much in there and not plan for keeping yourself in check and keeping yourself healthy and happy. So I will see you guys back on Monday. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.